Good evening. This is the Sultanate of Oman television with 7 o'clock news bulletin. But first, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq exchanges blessed Eid al-Adha greetings with a number of leaders of the Arab and Islamic countries. His Majesty the Sultan receives greetings from a number of state officials on the occasion of blessed Eid al-Adha. His Majesty the Sultan issues a royal pardon on a number of inmates on the occasion of blessed Eid al-Adha. And the Hajj pilgrims head to Mina to spend Taraweeh day or water day under COVID-19 precautionary measures. Thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines. And now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq exchanged greetings and blessing of the occasion of the blessed Eid al-Adha during phone calls with His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Amir of the State of Qatar, His Highness Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, Amir of the State of Kuwait, His Excellency President Abdul Fattah Al Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, and His Excellency President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President of the Republic of Turkey. His Majesty the Sultan expressed his sincere greetings and best wishes for good health, happiness and long life, praying to Almighty Allah to return this blessed occasion on the real leaders and to the peoples of their countries with further progress and prosperity, and for all Muslims with welfare and blessings. From their part, their Excellencies and Highnesses express their sincere greetings and best wishes to His Majesty the Sultan, praying to Almighty Allah to return this blessed occasion to His Majesty for many years, fulfilling all the hopes and aspirations of His loyal people of further progress, advancement and prosperity. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has received greetings from His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs, on the occasion of the blessed Eid al-Adha. He said that on this happy occasion, he is honored to extend his greetings and those of the braved armed forces and all employees at the Ministry of Defence to His Majesty the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, praying to Almighty Allah to bestow the blessings of these generous days on His Majesty, Oman and its loyal people. He added that the Holy Spirit of a great Hajj has inspired the armed forces the values and meanings of honor, pride and loyalty, patience, and to work with the spirit of national responsibility for the glory of Oman and the pride of its citizens, enlightened by the wise approach of His Majesty. He concluded by saying that the valiant armed forces and all personnel at the Ministry of Defence renew their loyalty, allegiance and obedience to His Majesty the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, praying to Allah the Almighty to grant His Majesty good health, happiness and long life. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has received greetings from His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court, on the occasion of Eid al-Adha. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq,
Minister of the Diwan of Royal Court, said with the rising sun of Eid al-Adha and Muslims celebrating this great occasion of this year, he is honored along with all members of the Diwan of the Royal Court to forward to His Majesty the most sincere congratulations and meanings of blessings, coupled with sincere supplication to Allah the Almighty to restore this occasion and its likes to His Majesty with health, wellness and long life, and upon Oman continued prosperity, growth and security, and the Arab and Islamic nations in peace, pride and tranquility. He added, as we live this honorable occasion on the good land of Oman, with the great blessings that God has bestowed upon us by His Majesty's wise leadership and sound vision, so that the march of Oman, which is filled with the blessing of the lofty and benevolent determination of His Majesty and His bright insight, and the support of the citizens towards a bright and promising future. This occasion came, and Oman and the countries of the world suffer from the continuing outbreak of the pandemic and its effects. However, the high attention of His Majesty and the lofty directives he gave played a great role in alleviating the consequences of this pandemic and facilitating the lives of citizens and residents. Thus, the employees of the court office, while they live the joy of this occasion, are renewing loyalty and allegiance to His Majesty in the performance of their duties with a fervent determination that doesn't fade in service to their country. May Allah the Almighty protect His Majesty and maintain him a pride for Oman and its citizens.
His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has received greetings from His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed al-Nu'mani, Minister of Royal Office, on the occasion of blessed Eid al-Adha. He expressed that on this blessed occasion, he is honored to extend his greetings along with those of the security apparatus to His Majesty the Supreme Commander, praying to Almighty Allah to bestow His blessings on His Majesty and for the beloved country Oman to achieve further progress and prosperity under His wise leadership. He further thanked Almighty Allah for His blessings and bounties upon the beloved country of security, peace and stability. He concluded by praying to Allah to protect His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and grant him success in leading the beloved country. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has received greetings from His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Chairman of the State Council, on the occasion of blessed Eid al-Adha. His Excellency said he is honored on behalf of himself, the honorable members of the State Council and employees to forward their sincere, heartfelt greetings to His Majesty the Sultan, appealing to the Almighty Allah to grant His Majesty good health and well-being. He added that the world is still reeling under pressure from the COVID-19 pandemic that led to a number of negative impacts on various aspects of life. In this regard, he forwarded his gratitude towards the government of His Majesty, represented in the COVID-19 Supreme Committee, for the efforts exerted to limit the impacts of the pandemic in the Sultanate. At the end, he asked Allah the Almighty to maintain continuous security, stability, welfare for the Omani nation and all Arabs and Muslims in this blessed occasion, which embodies the meanings of sacrifice, redemption, and giving for the good of all mankind. His Majesty the Sultan has received greetings from His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal al-Ma'wali, Chairman of the Shura Council, on the occasion of the blessed Eid al-Adha. He said that he is honored on behalf of himself and their Excellencies, the members and employees of Shura Council, to extend sincere greetings, best wishes and gratitude to His Majesty the Sultan, praying to the Almighty Allah to accept the good deeds and prayers of His Majesty, protect him and bestow upon him good health and long life. He concluded by praying to Almighty Allah to crown His Majesty with success and bestow upon him His blessings and bounties, and to return such blessed occasion on His Majesty, His people and Arab and Islamic nations with happiness, stability and prosperity. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has received greetings from His Excellency Lieutenant General Hassan bin Muhsin al-Shiriqi, Inspector General of Police and Customs, on the occasion of the blessed Eid al-Adha. The Inspector General of Police and Customs said that on the happy occasion of Eid al-Adha, he, along with the affiliates of the Royal Oman Police, are honored to extend their greetings to His Majesty the Supreme Commander, praying to Almighty Allah for the return of these and similar occasions on His Majesty with good health and happiness, Oman and its people with progress and welfare. He added that as the COVID-19 pandemic continues its impacts, the efforts by the government bodies continue to face the challenges ahead as the citizens and residents of the Sultanate continue to adhere to the precautionary measures, along with taking the vaccination to limit the impacts of the pandemic. He added that the Royal Oman Police and its affiliates will continue to exert great efforts to serve this beloved country under the wise leadership of His Majesty, while praying to Allah the Almighty to bestow His blessings upon His Majesty and the people of Oman on this blessed occasion. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has received greetings from His Excellency Lieutenant General Saeed bin Ali al-Hilali, Head of Internal Security Service, on the occasion of the Happy Eid al-Adha. He expressed that on this blessed occasion, he is honored to extend his greetings along with those of the loyal staff to His Majesty the Supreme Commander, praying to Almighty Allah to bestow His blessings on His Majesty and for the beloved country, Oman, to achieve further progress and prosperity under His wise leadership. He added that the affiliates will stay forever as loyal soldiers to Oman to keep it an oasis of peace and to protect the achievements of the blessed Renaissance. He concluded by praying to Allah to protect His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and grant his success in leading the beloved country. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, the Supreme Commander, issued a royal pardon on a number of inmates convicted in different cases. The number of those honored by this royal pardon were 345 inmates, including 131 of other nationalities, according to an official sources at the Royal Oman Police. The royal pardon of His Majesty the Sultan coincides with the blessed Eid al-Adha and in consideration of families of those inmates. A number of wilayas of North Al-Batina Governorate witnessed moderate to heavy rains which caused wadis and tributaries to overflow for the second consecutive day. The wilayas of Suhar, Liwa and Shinas witnessed heavy rains which caused waters to enter a number of houses. Subcommittee for Emergency Cases Management in North Al-Batina Governorate affirmed that 3 families and 7 cars, 18 persons on them, were rescued due to the flooding waters in Wadi Al-Qabail in the Wilaya of Suhar. According to Relief and Shelter Sector, 40 families consisting of 290 members moved from shelter centers to their homes in the Wilaya of Liwa. The Sultan's Armed Forces and the Engineering Services at the Ministry of Defense continue to provide support and rescue in aftermath of the rainfalls that affected some governorates in the Sultanate. The Royal Army of Oman continues to support the affected villages in South Sharqiya Governorate by providing water tankers to the houses that suffered disruption in water services. The efforts also continue in various areas of the Wilaya of Surrey, including removal of rainfall debris and reopening the affected roads, among many other services. The pilgrims headed today to Mina to spend Taraweeh, a day on Water Day, before they stand on Mount Arafah tomorrow. Yesterday, the pilgrims began flocking to Mecca to perform the tawaf of arrival while adhering to social distancing. The total number of pilgrims this year is 60,000, and performing the Hajj ritual is limited to the age category of 18 to 65 years of those who obtain the vaccine in accordance with the regulations and mechanisms established in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the categories of immunization. This year's pilgrimage was limited to citizens and residents of the kingdom for the second year in a row to contain the coronavirus pandemic. Minister of Health, Departments of Blood Services is calling for the donation of blood, as there is an urgent need of various groups of blood in the healthcare institutions. Here are the details. Due to the current sharp decline witnessed in all blood group supplies in the blood banks, the Ministry of Health, represented by the Department of Blood Bank Services, appeals to all citizens and residents to take the initiative to donate blood in order to ensure the sustainability of blood availability for the needed cases in the hospitals. The ministry further stresses the significance of a ceaseless blood donation process. Thus, a coordination between the Ministry of Health and the relevant authorities has been made to facilitate the move of blood donors wishing to head to the blood banks during the lockdown period at the various governorates through obtaining a temporary pass permit. Be there for donating blood to save life. Indeed, it is important to respond to that message of giving blood to the needs. Messages of prevention of coronavirus are here, conveyed by TV reporters, newsreaders, and healthcare staff.
Dear brothers and sisters, Eid is approaching amid exceptional circumstances. Let us show our solidarity and fully abide by the precautionary measures. Remember, Oman counts on you. May Allah protect us all. Stay safe and happy Eid.
Dear citizens and residents, we have learned quite a lot from the Supreme Committee, Minister of Health, as well as international organizations such as WHO, that preventive measures the key to prevent coronavirus. So let's all of us stick to the preventive measures to stay safe and healthy.
It is obligatory for us to alert you about the pandemic, especially the new strain of the virus. Please keep up distancing, wear your masks, and wash your hands frequently. Together, we can do it. Yes, we can.
We have to be more careful. Danger still is there. We have to follow the guidelines. We have to protect ourselves to stay at home and follow the guidelines more carefully to prevent ourselves and our family from coronavirus.
Indeed, we are having another Eid under the shadow of COVID-19. The virus is very much around, raging as widely as last year and even more. We really need to be extra cautious and follow all precautionary measures.
Yes, follow preventive measures to stay safe and healthy.
Follow precautionary measures for your safety.
Let's all of us follow preventive measures to stay safe during Eid and beyond. Thank you for following those messages. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq exchanges blessed Eid al-Adha greetings with a number of leaders of the Arab and Islamic countries. His Majesty the Sultan receives greetings from a number of state officials on the occasion of blessed Eid al-Adha. His Majesty the Sultan issues a royal pardon on a number of inmates on the occasion of blessed Eid al-Adha. And the Hajj pilgrims head to Mina to spend Taraweeh Day or Water Day under COVID-19 precautionary measures. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman Television. From the entire news team and myself, we thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening, and of course, good night.